Sid Phillips is the very first villain we meet in the Toy Story franchise, and his story is actually pretty interesting once you dig a little deeper. Now, he's not a villain in the typical bad guy way you might expect. He's mostly a threat to the toys themselves, but when you look at his behavior, a lot of it seems to come from problems he's having at home. The movies don't go into this much because it's not the main focus, but there are definitely some clues that show Sid's family life isn't exactly smooth. Sid lives right next door to Andy, and he's probably about 11 years old in the first film. From the toys' point of view, Sid is the toy torturer.
Whoa. Uh-oh. It's Sid!
He's known for taking toys apart, breaking them, and then putting them back together in weird, creepy ways. He mixes and matches parts, making these freaky mutant toys, and he's not afraid to use explosives to blow things up. He also seems to be a big fan of heavy metal music, which fits with his wild and rebellious vibe. When it comes to his family, it's clear that things are different for Sid compared to Andy's more normal happy household. We don't really get a lot of scenes with his family, but the few moments we do see or hear about suggest that his home life is pretty tough. For starters, Sid has a younger sister named Hannah, and their relationship is anything but friendly. He's often mean to her, even stealing her dolls so he can use them in his bizarre torture experiments and modifications. It's a mean and hostile dynamic that really tells you something about how troubled he is. His mom never actually appears on screen. We only hear her voice calling out to Sid or Hannah from off camera.
Where are your rebel friends now? All right!
She's kind of an absent figure, and you don't really see her stepping in or calming things down when the kids are fighting. Sid's dad makes just a brief appearance in one scene, where he's shown asleep in a recliner during the day, surrounded by empty cans that look like they used to hold beer or some kind of alcohol. That scene strongly hints that his dad might be struggling with alcoholism and isn't around much in terms of parenting. Sid also has a dog named Scud, a tough-looking bull terrier that he actually seems to care about quite a bit. Another detail about Sid's home is that his bedroom door has several locks on it. Some people think he might have put these locks on himself to keep others out, maybe even to keep his dad away from his space. All these little details point to the fact that his family life is complicated and far from perfect. It's never fully shown in the movies, but it's definitely there as a kind of background story that helps explain why Sid acts the way he does. Everything takes a huge turn for Sid when he finally manages to catch Woody and Buzz and decides to have some so-called fun with them. Now, this isn't fun in a normal sense. He's known for destroying toys or taking them apart and putting them back together in weird ways, which he had already done with practically every other toy he owned. He starts to mess with them the same way he did with all his other toys, and you can tell it was supposed to be a kind of twisted entertainment for him. But then comes the big moment at the climax of the movie. Sid gets a serious shock because Woody and the mutant toys he had been torturing suddenly decide to fight back. What's really interesting here is that Sid is the only person in the whole Toy Story franchise who actually sees the toys come to life. No other human ever experiences that, so when Woody delivers this powerful message saying,
"From now on, you must take good care of your toys, because if you don't, we'll find out, Sid. We toys can see everything.
So play nice."
In that moment, his whole world flips upside down. From then on, he sees toys completely differently, and it's probably safe to say he would never want to break a toy again after that frightening encounter. After Andy moves out of his house, Sid basically disappears from the story. He doesn't show up at all in Toy Story 2, but then about 15 years later in Toy Story 3, we do catch a glimpse of Sid again, now as an adult. He's working as a garbage man, which is an interesting turn for his character. It's pretty easy to spot that it's really Sid because he still wears that signature black t-shirt with a white skull on it. His childhood was clearly messed up, with all the problems in his family and how he treated his toys. But the experience he had with Woody and the mutant toys, That intense, scary moment when the toys stood up to him seems to be what truly changed his path. His job as a garbage collector almost feels like a symbolic nod to his past, like it fits with his childhood of breaking things and dealing with destruction. Picking up and dealing with other people's trash kind of mirrors his history of treating toys like disposable objects.